y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Brittany. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the 5th grade curriculum that we started this year off with and what worked and what didn't work and what we're currently using now. So we started this year mostly with Masterbooks, and I do want to start off this video saying that I am not saying that Masterbooks is a bad curriculum. I know that a lot of people really thoroughly enjoy it. I think that there is a lot of good about it. I am going to go ahead and throw out there that we ended up switching completely away from Masterbooks. It just wasn't a good fit for our family. If you have watched my other video, you'll see that we have switched to full-on Charlotte Mason style of homeschooling, and it just was not cohesive with a Charlotte Mason homeschool style. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and apologize because I do have a 4-year-old little helper in here. He says he's going to be quiet, so we'll see if it actually happens. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing, the first thing that I have on my stack is something we didn't even use, and that would be writing strands. Like I said, little helpers. Okay, you gotta go sit down. You can't be in the video. You have to go sit down.
Why can't I be in the video?
Because you can't be in it. This is talking about things that are for grown-ups.
Oh.
Okay. I'll let you make your own video in a minute. Okay.
Okay. But let's go. My video is going to be different than yours. It's only going to be for kids.
Yeah, okay. So anyhow, so it's not that I disliked this curriculum at all. Honestly, I didn't really even get into it because as I got this one, we had also gotten language lessons for a living education, and it just felt like at his stage where he was at, it was just going to be too much. And so I had already shelved it before we even started the school year. I might actually still bring this one out. I haven't decided. We may use it next year or the year after that. Probably next year. If we're going to use it at all, we'll probably use it next year. So the next one that we tried, we actually enjoyed. It was our typing program, and it was not from Masterbooks. We did Typing 1 from The Good and the Beautiful. Now, little caveat, I am not, again, I know a lot of people love The Good and the Beautiful. We personally don't use it because there are some theological issues. It is put out by, it is LDS. And so I know that there's not a lot of the stuff in the curriculum itself. It's just me personally, a personal conviction. If you choose to use The Good and the Beautiful, you know, completely up to you. That's completely fine. We just don't personally use it. Though I did get the typing because I decided it was $15. If I went through it and there was anything in it that seemed like I didn't agree with it, then I would just put it away and not use it. It didn't though. So we did use it. We did enjoy it actually. We got through the entire, we got all the way through it, and so he has finished this one. He really liked it. The lessons are pretty short, so see if I can get it to where you can see that. So they're pretty short, so this would be one day, this was the next, and so he really did. It was short little 10-minute lessons, and he loved it, so we did that. And then as he careful, as he finished that, we went ahead and moved on to typing.com, and this felt like a really good foundation. So I'm not sure, we may use this again for my younger kids, and then just switch them to typing.com whenever, because it's a free site and it's just easier. So next we had our spelling. So we started the year with spelling UC, and we did not finish it. We did not like it. It was very involved. The whole, you know, at the very beginning we liked it a lot. I loved the idea behind it, but then you start getting into the, you know, further into the book, and when they had to start circling and searching for, so how it works is that they're supposed to chunk these groupings of letters, and when he had to start chunking in all of this and look for all of these, I'm sure that it probably would have helped, but he is so frustrated by it. My oldest has he tested right at the cutoff for autism spectrum disorder. And so he is basically high functioning autistic and has sensory processing disorder. And this was just too much. It was just way too involved. So what we are doing now, we ended up stopping that. Actually, I'm going to wait on that because it kind of ties together. So we just stopped the spelling program altogether. And then I don't have the book, so I'm going to insert a picture right in here of what we were using for language arts. He was using Language Lessons for a Living Education. I was not crazy about it. I did like it at first, but honestly, I liked it until we decided to go full on Charlotte Mason. And because we decided to do a Charlotte Mason approach to language arts, it was not cohesive. I know that Masterbooks says that it is Charlotte Mason inspired, but it is Charlotte Mason inspired, and so there's still a lot of worksheets. There's not it doesn't take the philosophy itself and apply it. It takes Charlotte Mason and combines it with traditional, which is a good fit for some people. Okay. You need to sit down. Okay, which is a good fit for some people, but not for our family. We want to be, Charlotte Mason is what we are. And so that was the only reason why I didn't like Language Lessons for Living Education. I loved how much Bible was in it and how much scripture memorization. We do scripture memory in a different way. I will show that whenever I do my 2020-2021 curriculum, but we do scripture memory in a different way, so it wasn't enough to keep me with it. So what we are doing now is for language arts, covers language arts and spelling. So we are switching mostly to Simply Charlotte Mason next year. And we decided whenever we got the Simply Charlotte Mason book in to just go ahead and start with that. So what we are doing now is using Language Well by Simply Charlotte Mason and Spelling Wisdom. And these are book 1. I did decide to take him down to book 1 because it covers more of things that he was kind of struggling with. I'm caught here, hold on. I'm trying to see if I can find like an example. Like where to use commas and things like that. They give you on the Simply Charlotte Mason website, they do give you a placement guide, and so you could go and see where your child would place. And there were just a couple of things that he didn't get from. Sorry. Okay, I had to get him situated in the living room with his brother because he is just a mess. He's 4, so obviously he can't sit still. And anyway, so I don't even remember where I was at. So anyway, whenever he did the placement guide, there were just a few things that I felt like he needed a little bit more work on to really get it to understand in order to move on to book 2. So I figured it couldn't hurt to do book 1. How you do book 1 is you do it for 2 years. So you would do, and I'll give you an idea of what it looks like. So they have, this is like here's a lesson, and so they would go through and answer all of the questions, and then you would tie in I'm not going to open to the actual page, but this one says transcription, but or dictation. So whatever that would be in there, and so they would, from their Spelling Wisdom book, they would read that one and then answer the questions. And then this one is transcription, so he would transcribe. Focus. So he would transcribe it. Here. We're not there yet, so he is. He's not doing transcription. I am having him do dictation, and because these are so much easier than most of what he's using or what he's used to, we are doing it once a day. You're supposed to do it once or twice a week, but so your Spelling Wisdom would work on your spelling. So that's what we're doing. So spelling, using language well for language arts, but they go together. Okay, so moving on to history. So we started this year with Masterbooks. I think I knocked something off. So we started this year with Masterbooks. We were doing their history, you report world history, and it comes with the Big Book of History and Noah's Ark. I love these books. I actually really do. It's not the books I have a problem with. It's the worksheets and stuff. And I understand I could totally do away with the worksheets, and that would be a possibility. But we also have issues on the other. We tried America's Story 2 years ago, last year, and it was very dry. Matt was bored. I was bored. So we, again, are switching to Simply Charlotte Mason next year. But, yeah, these books themselves, so how it works is you have, this is your big, long, I'm not going to get it all out. It's a big, long, monstrous timeline, as you can see. And we actually will still use this. I'm glad we got this. I will probably still buy books from Masterbooks. I may even use supplements from Masterbooks. It's not that I hate Masterbooks or anything. It's just that there are certain things that don't go well for our family. So we actually are still going to use this as we go through history with our history lessons. And this one's beautiful. Oh, the pages, I love how they describe things. They've got some explanations on Noah's Ark, and there is some art in here that's just gorgeous. And so I love this. We are going to use this in our schooling, but I didn't like the whole combination, like with the worksheets and stuff. So that got tabled. We went back to Mystery of History for most of the year until we figured out. I originally was going to stick with Mystery of History, but whenever we decided to go with Simply Charlotte Mason, I wanted to go with their history curriculum. So we are doing their history curriculum next year, and since the time era that we are starting in actually is past what we were in, not past, before what we were in, well, that doesn't make any sense. It starts at, I think we are doing Joshua through Malachi, and we were further than that in Mystery of History. So I decided to just put that on the shelf. Matt is super into World War II, so what we're doing now is we are reading The Hiding Place, and he's just doing narration. If you are unsure as to what that means with narration and dictation and everything, I'll put a link up here to my video on Charlotte Mason and what that looks like and what all of that means. Okay, so for geography, we're doing the same thing. I found this little book, and it's got a stain on it. No surprise in my house. We are doing the same thing that we have been doing. I found this little book at Walmart, and it's just, I mean, we don't even use the whole book. I mean, it's got, like, you could technically use all of the word searches and stuff, but we just use the back because the back is just a map. It's a blank map. We do map drills. That's all we do. I could have technically, this was like $1. I mean, but I could have technically just printed off and laminated and done the same thing. But we just do map drills. We just add states on. That's been working phenomenally. He's already learned more states than I ever learned in school. So there's that. Science. Again, we started with Masterbooks. Okay, so this is my first complaint that I have against Masterbooks. This is not, in my opinion, geared enough toward the age range that it says. So this is God's Design Physical World, and I don't know what the other God's Design books look like. So I think the biggest issue that I had with this book is the way that it was presented. I didn't feel like there was enough explanation for some of the more challenging concepts, because it does go very heavily into like physics and technology, and it just for 5th grade felt very, very advanced. I had to go through and find videos on YouTube or things that he could read to explain what they were talking about, because at the end of it, he's like, I have absolutely no idea what they just said. And so we just couldn't get the connection. He was just very confused by it. We tabled this very, very quickly and went back to our tried and true, which is Apologia. I love Apologia. I started homeschooling with Apologia. I have switched away from it a couple of times, and every time I come back to it, I just feel like the way that they explain things, though they do use some terminology that is a little harder to understand, they explain it in a way that they get it. So how we've decided to do science is very, very similar to the way that Amy at Raising Arrows does hers, and I will put a link to the video she did down below. And she's talking about how she waits to do like formal science until 3rd grade, and then she gives her kids the book, and then they do the reading, and then if they come across a project that they want to do, they'll do it, but and then they do their own journaling, which is what we do. The only thing I think maybe that I do that I don't think that she does is I do require a narration every time he reads, and sometimes I'll have him do a written narration or journal over it or draw something, but most of the time I just let him do verbal narration. He's not super big on writing, and so I try not to overload him. I'm trying to slowly build in that writing. So this is what we are using. This is what we use this year, and we love it. I mean, we don't do the journals. We don't get the journals that they provide with this as an option. I have in the past, and we just ended up not using it. We just ended up doing our own journaling and narration, and that's just how we did it. And so that's how we're just going to keep on doing it. And I think the last thing that we have is, oh no, I've got 2 things. So math, I actually don't have the book anymore. So I'll put a picture right in here somewhere. So we started the year with math lessons for a living education. Again, that is one that I feel, I personally didn't like it. I personally won't recommend it. I know some people love it. I know a lot of people, for their kids who are really struggling with math, really love it. My son was struggling with math, but it ended up, he had a lot of holes. There were a lot of things that he didn't understand, that didn't stick. So we stopped that. We actually went and tried Saxon for a while. And again, for a child, Saxon could be a good fit for somebody. For a child with ASD, SPD, it's too much. He had too hard of a time with it. And it was very involved for me. I am not the math person. I hate math with a passion. I am a reader and I love language arts, and I'm just not a big math person. I don't have the mental capacity to sit and teach math as they age. I can do like the younger grades, but as they get older, I can't do it. So what we are going to be doing going forward is that we have gone back to teaching textbooks, and I am just monitoring that. If he gets some things wrong, then I am just giving him some supplemental work to make sure he fully understands it. And that seems to be working great so far. So we're just going to probably stick with teaching textbooks from now on. It's just, when my kids hit 3rd grade, we're just going to start teaching textbooks and just not look back. Hopefully, that's my plan. But I've said things like this before, and then you know how that goes. So anyway, the last thing that I have in front of us is handwriting. We are still using A Reason for Handwriting. I am still having him do handwriting even though he is 11. I had him do manuscript for a very long time because he was really struggling with his penmanship. I didn't feel comfortable pushing him into cursive whenever his penmanship was not up to a certain level. So he started this year with handwriting with B, level B, and he did finish that completely. And we are currently working through transition. And so it starts them out with manuscript and has them moving into, see, his handwriting has improved quite a bit. So I have him, so that'll move him into cursive. And so I will have him probably do one more year of handwriting to really solidify that cursive, and then we'll drop the handwriting altogether. Yeah, and I think that's it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope that you will consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. Like I said, my name is Brittany. We have 4 kids. Well, in September we will have 4 kids currently living at home. My stepson is an adult has since flown the nest. But yeah, I hope you will stick around and see what all we have coming out. So I hope y'all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.
You can sit there on the bed. It's comfy.
Oh, thank you.
This is going to be about 3 kids, but at the ending, I'm going to do a song.
You're going to do a song?
Yep. You're going to have to be quiet.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
So, because I'm going to talk a lot.
Okay.
So, anyways, we got to do and save all kinds of people. Anyway, we got to do it. All the days in the world. And this is actually our own book. And this is the book that has these kinds of lines. And this is the B book. Anyway.
Okay, well, you gotta tell them bye.
Okay. That's after this. That's whenever the song ends.
Okay, you're gonna do a song? Okay.
All I can do, all we can do, all we love and like in the world. We can have anything to do. All we can do is anything. All we love doing is cool. Anyways, ace. All kinds of stuff, all kinds of that.